Today we're taking a look at the NHL Draft Lottery Simulation Tool. Of course, we do this periodically throughout the season. We're going to take a look at the NHL standings as of today. Take a look at the teams that are near the bottom, and we'll have a shot at the first overall pick. We're going to simulate how the draft lottery could go and then do a mock draft for the top picks in this year's 2025 NHL Draft, and that's coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, today is Draft Lottery Simulation Day. So we're going to take a look at the standings as of today. Now, of course, today, right now, as I record this, is actually on Wednesday. So, you're probably not going to be watching this on YouTube until Friday or Saturday. Of course, it's going to be done a few days ahead. So, of course, the standings might be a smidge different. So keep in mind, today is Wednesday when I'm recording this. That's when everything is based on. So right now, like I said, we're gonna simulate the draft lottery. So we're gonna go onto the computer. We're gonna go onto tankathon.com's website. We'll take a look at the current standings, the teams that are in the running for first overall. We'll take a quick review here of the odds of winning, and then we're gonna simulate how the draft lottery would go if today's standings were the final standings at the end of the season. See who has the best shot at getting first overall. It's going to be a very interesting draft. We have some top-end talent at the top of this draft as well, which could be game changers for NHL franchise. So once we do the simulation, we know the order of the draft, we'll then complete our top mock draft picks, and we'll go from there. So let's hop onto the computer and start with the lottery simulation. Okay, so here we are on tankathon.com's website. So as you can see, here is the standings here based on how everything sits here today. So right now, the teams with the best odds of winning the first overall pick are the Chicago Blackhawks, followed by the San Jose Sharks, the Nashville Predators, the Buffalo Sabres, the Seattle Kraken, the Anaheim Ducks, the New York Islanders, the Penguins, the Flyers, and Utah. Any teams above that are not going to be, they'll be in the lottery all the way up to Vancouver here, but you can only move up a maximum of 10 spots. So they're the only teams, I guess the Rangers would be included, would be the teams that would be eligible to go all the way to first overall. Otherwise, they can move up maximum of 10 spots. So if you get St. Louis, Detroit, Boston, Montreal, or Vancouver, if they would end up in the winners draw here, then they'll go from all the way up to 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever have you. So those are the teams with the best odds here as of right now. Just to take a look at the odds here for the lottery. Here's the actual odds of winning. So the first overall pick, the team with the best odds, I should say. So 25.5% chance of getting first, 18.5% chance of getting second, and 55.7% chance of getting third. So as much as they have the best odds of getting first, there's still odds are against them, and there's still a greater chance that other teams will win and that they'll end up dropping in the lottery here and go down to third spot. That's the more likely scenario. So this kind of goes to show you here that the way the lottery is designed and the way the odds are done here, it's not really enticing any type of tanking. So let's come back over to the homepage and let's simulate this lottery to see who would win as of right now based on today's standings. Here we go. There we have it. The Nashville Predators win the draft lottery, followed by the Anaheim Ducks moving up 4 spots. So the Blackhawks drop 2 spots, the Sharks drop 2 spots, the Sabres and the Kraken each drop 1 spot. But imagine the Nashville Predators were the biggest spenders in last year's offseason, signing top free agents like Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, Brady Shea, spent a ton of money, re-signed Yossi Saros to an 8-year deal, trading Askarov away because they're going to stick with their number 1 netminder. And now they're a bottom, 3, 4, 5 team in the NHL, and we just simulated them to win the first overall pick in the 2025 draft. That is insane. I never would have predicted that for the Preds for this year. So now we have our draft order, and we'll conduct the mock draft. Selecting first overall, we have the Nashville Predators, and I have them selecting James Hagens. Now, there is some debate over whether or not he will hold this spot down. Some ranking services have already moved either Martone or Schaefer ahead of him. I still believe he's the number one overall pick here. He's playing on one of the greatest lines in the NCAA, if not the best line, with Leonard and Perreault. Had a phenomenal showing at the World Junior Championships. To me, he has all the makings of being a number one franchise-altering center. Not going to call him generational. I think that's a little bit much, but at the very least, Hagens, like I said, will be a number one center that will really help transform an NHL franchise. Given Schaefer's injury at the World Juniors, he's going to have a chance to continue displaying his talents while Schaefer's going to be on the shelf. So I honestly think Hagens is going to hold down the top spot. Selecting second overall, we have the Anaheim Ducks, and I have them taking left defenseman Matthew Schaefer of the Erie Otters in the Ontario Hockey League. Like I said, some feel he's going to go first overall, and maybe he does, but he is going to be a really good defenseman. He is, head and shoulders above all the other D in this draft. Unfortunately, he ended up with a long-term injury with a broken collarbone at the World Juniors. Really freak accident, which was terrible. That will certainly hurt him, but he is so smart and so skilled, such a great skater, drawing similarities to top NHL D like Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes, the way he plays. He's not exactly going to be either one of them, but he does have some similarities to both and should be a number one legit defenseman who can produce a lot of offense, which is really hard to come by. You have to draft these guys, and I think he's better than anybody on the Ducks blue line. And even if they're not sure about that, he's by far the best player in this draft. I think after Hagens, if things were to go down this way, either way, he's going to be 1 or 2. I have no doubt. Picking number 3, we have the Chicago Blackhawks, and they will take Michael Misa, Saginaw. Misa should have been 100% on Canada's World Junior team. It's a real shame he wasn't. Somebody should be fired for that not happening. He's one of the best pure goal scorers in the Canadian Junior Leagues right now. One of the best pure goal scorers in this draft by far. Also, his ability to play center, he might turn out to be a winger, but he is a tremendous talent. He is going to be a real force offensively, like a lot of young players. I think defensively, in his 200-foot game is going to need some work. But at the end of the day, I think this kid is going to be a tremendous offensive talent. There's no doubt in my mind, he's going to be a top 3 selection. Next up, we have number 4 overall, which is the San Jose Sharks pick, and that would go to Porter Martone. Now, Martone's a big boy, made the World Junior Club, which was certainly fair as an underager. Had his moments, but it wasn't in the lineup every night. He loves to be very much involved, loves to be physical, is great with the puck, good goal scorer, good setup man. He's pretty well-rounded player overall, to be honest. So far, scouts are saying his defensive game is getting better gradually here as well, but he's getting better and better without the puck. But at the very least, he has the potential to be a real solid top 6 forward that can give you at least 70, 80 points while being a big, power forward type of guy as well. So to me, Martone, obviously this is kind of difficult to say exactly where he's going to go, but I have no doubt he's going to be a top 4 or 5 pick. At 5th overall, we have the Buffalo Sabres, and I have them selecting Victor Eklund. Now, I don't think Buffalo would really thought they'd be picking this high again this year, but in Victor Eklund, they're going to get a pretty good Swedish player, right winger, pretty solid playmaking guy with great hockey sense, pretty well-rounded player in that sense. Having a really good year in the second-tier Swedish league. Great shot, like I said, good shooter, good playmaker, good hockey sense. There's lots to like about his game. Lots of reason to believe he will develop into a pretty solid top 6 forward in the NHL. Pretty good skater to boot. So to me, he's one of these players that may not be as high-end as some of the other guys ahead of him, but he's pretty well, really, really good in every other aspect, and is a low-risk draft pick, because I think there's the odds of him making the NHL and having a pretty decently long career are really good. Next up, we have the Seattle Kraken, and I have them selecting defenseman Jackson Smith. Now, clearly at 6 overall, a lot of the top players, forwards especially, are already gone off this list. Maybe they go a different direction, but Jackson Smith, the left-handed defenseman from the Tri-City Americans in the WHL, is a pretty solid blue liner. He's physical. He skates really well, very mobile for his size of 6'3". Great hockey sense. Sounds like his offensive game is coming along, and a lot of people feel that he has a really good chance of being a solid top 4 two-way defenseman. Should be able to hopefully be a force for Canada's World Junior team next year, as long as the selection committee gets their act together, of course. At number 7, we have the New York Islanders, and I have them selecting Roger McQueen, centerman from the Brandon Wheat Kings, another Western Hockey League player. Now, he has been out injured since October, but scouts are still very much excited for this player. Has a unique blend of size, skill, playmaking, and hockey sense, and one heck of a shot. He was scoring at a point per game pace before he ended up getting hurt. Some are a little bit concerned over his skating, saying it's maybe slightly below average. It's certainly something he can work on. Lots of great skating coaches out there that I think can help. They also would like to see him get a little bit quicker as well. But overall, the size, the whole package here, I think it's just too much of a opportunity to pass up. I think he can be one heck of an impactful player when he's healthy. At number 8, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I have them selecting Caleb Desnoyers of the Moncton Wildcats of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Obviously, to me, he's a pretty no-brain pick here in the top 10 that I think is going to be maybe not a real high-end, exceptional, elite-level NHLer, but a really good one. I think he's kind of like Eklund in a sense. I think there's the odds of him getting into the NHL, having a long career, are really good. He's a proven winner already in multiple international tournaments playing with Team Canada. Right now, he is the main play driver for the Moncton Wildcats, which are having a phenomenal season as well. He's not big, but he plays big. Great playmaker, really smart center as well. Like I said, may not be flashy, might not get quite as much accolades as some of the top 4 or 5 picks, but to me, he should be a really good, probably, and maybe he's more of a second line player, but a really good one at that has, maybe first line potential. But to me, I think he'd be a really complimentary, great number 2 center on a really good team. At number 9, we have the Philadelphia Flyers, and I have them selecting Anton Frondell, another Swedish player here in the forward category. Very talented player, does a lot of great things. One of the better U20 players out of Sweden in the world at the current moment, according to Daily Faceoff's recent article here from Matt Larkin. He certainly has a terrific shot, dangerous release, likes to play the role of playmaker and be physical as well. Certainly one of those forwards that right now projects to be a top 6 type of talent. Certainly if a team like Philly would be willing to bet on a young centerman like him, it should translate to be a really good bet. I think it might be one of those players that takes a little bit longer to get there. It might be a couple years out, but I think he could be a really good middle 6 centerman for them. At number 10, we have the Utah Hockey Club, and I have them selecting Malcolm Spence, another Erie Otter. Spence is a left winger out of the OHL, type of player who seems like he can play with just about everybody and get you good results. Again, like guys like Desnoyers, like Eklund, he's not necessarily a very flashy player, but he's a hard worker, likes to play physical, can be tough to play against. Right now he's on pace for about 90 points, so very solid in the offensive game, very versatile. Like a top 6 play driving type of winger, which is good. So a lot of projections show him being probably not a front line, first line player, but probably, the potential to be a middle 6 with a high end talent being maybe like a really good second line winger with the potential to be like a combination playmaker, scorer type of guy. So that is our draft lottery simulation for today and the top picks in the draft. Based, of course, I'm going by, the rankings here of these players and who I think these teams would select if they end up in these spots. So again, let me know what you think. Which prospects are you most excited about this year? Where would you like to see them go? Who needs first overall pick the most? So create a conversation here in the comments, talking about the prospects, talking about how things turned out in this simulation. Of course, keep in mind this is just for fun and entertainment purposes. This is obviously not the end of the season, so this may not be how things turn out. So let me know, and we'll talk further in the comments, and we'll go from there. Of course, we'll do one of these videos again, probably in another 3 or 4 weeks once the standings are updated and we have a better idea how things may go. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk further in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, make sure you comment. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around so you don't miss any future content. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.